Hey guys, welcome back to Rossoneri TV. I'm Gio and I'm here for your weekly AC Milan news recap, where I'll be recapping the latest news and rumors going on at the club throughout the week. Now guys, of course, Adamo did make a video earlier this week concerning, of course, Conte's arrival and Kucka's departure, and I just wanted to give my thoughts on these two players before we get into the new news. So first of all, Conte, I'm very happy that he has joined the club. Of course, we were already in some sort of agreement with the player for a number of weeks, and really what it was finding an agreement with Atalanta all along. We finally came to this agreement, and Milan have paid 25 million euros for Conte, and he has signed the contract until 2022. Very happy regarding this arrival for many reasons. First of all, he is a versatile player, very young, plays for the Azzurini, a player that really was brought in not only for the present but also for the future. Very dynamic player, a player that could also score lots of goals, and I think moving forward, when attacking, he brings a lot more to the table than the current options that we have at the club. And I think this has been one of the major issues for Milan for a very long time. They were never able to really, at least in the recent years, find someone that could, distribute the ball well, make runs, and actually score goals from the flanks. And I think Conte has all these attributes to him, and I think we are very well, at least assorted now in terms of fullback options. We have Antonelli, we have Conte now. We have a lot of players that, slowly we are moving towards that transition towards having these guys actually, move the ball up and get things done, rather than just being there and passing it back and forth like we saw in the previous seasons. And you guys, if you follow Milan on a weekly basis, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The next player is, of course, Kucka. Like I said, his departure to Trabzonspor was done a few days ago, where he left for 5 million euros. And like Adamo had mentioned, personally, I'm not too happy about this move, just because Kucka was probably one of the only midfielders that actually bled for the shirt, and I think that he was going to be a very good, useful player for this upcoming season at least. Even though chances were that he wasn't going to get much playing time, I think he would have still been a very solid option for the bench, knowing that we would probably need a lot of rotation this year. So I think, we could have kept Kucka. We also saw him in tears as he left Milanello. So definitely a player that enjoyed, I think, his time at Milan, knew exactly what Milan meant to him, but now we wish him the best of luck to on his new journey to Trabzonspor. Finally, I want to speak about a new signing, Barel. Of course, this guy is pretty much unknown. I don't know much about him, besides that he is 17 years old and he is Polish, of course. He is a midfielder, and we did get him for 350,000 euros plus bonuses. And of course, lots of people, from what I was reading in comments from various sources, were saying that this guy could be the future, could be a very good midfielder to have in the future. Personally, like I said, I don't know much about him, so maybe if you guys could fill me in on what this player could actually bring to the table for us, that would be great. I don't know if he's going to have any immediate impact on the squad. I don't know if he's going to be playing. Chances are he's not. Maybe he's going to be pushed to the Primavera squad as soon as the season starts. I really don't know what's going to happen with this player, but if you guys think that he is a very solid purchase, at least for the future, and he can bring a lot to the table, let me know in the comments below. Also, moving on to Biglia, because now it appears to be that Milan and Lazio are closer than ever regarding a possible transfer to the Rossoneri. And of course, there's still a little difference. Apparently, it's only a €2 million difference between what Lazio is demanding and what Milan is offering. Not much of a difference, which I believe could come very easily to a conclusion given the financial disponibility that Milan has. And I think it should be completed soon. Also because Biglia has mentioned to the club, to Lazio, that he does not want to stay and he wants to move elsewhere. And I think they are willing to fulfill his request. So this deal should be done soon, I believe. I don't think there should be many problems concerning the transfer. But of course, we just never know exactly until the transfer is completed. I will not, celebrate in advance. I personally believe that Biglia is a good option to have, a better, I think, option than Montolivo, of course. So, I don't think we should really be too upset if we actually get him. I personally would be happy because he brings a lot more to the pitch than Montolivo. I've seen him do great things with Lazio. I think he's a better leader than Montolivo as well. He could score goals. Maybe he doesn't score many, but as a defensive mid, his job is not really to score goals, but play better in his position. But if, a player, like I said with Conte, his role is not really to score goals, but if he could contribute in that sense, then why not? So I would be happy if we signed Biglia. The contacts are still ongoing between Lazio and Milan regarding the player, and everything should be more clear in the next 24 to 48 hours. Also, Vangioni seems to be back, on his way back, actually, to River Plate, because originally that's where we got him from, and of course he wasn't going to get much playing time this season at Milan, given the arrival of Ricardo Rodriguez. So Vangioni is very, very close to joining River Plate, actually returning to River Plate, a team in which obviously he loved, and he said it's the only team that he would go back and play for. So this should be once again concluded very soon. The teams are just discussing whether it would be a loan deal or a permanent transfer, but my guess would be that he will actually return on a permanent transfer to River Plate. Moving on, I want to speak about Aubameyang because contacts have restarted with Milan and the player's agent, which is in fact his father. And, mainly the issue with Aubameyang was regarding his wages, as Milan was offering about 7 million originally, I believe, and his father wanted 13 million euros per season on wages, which is really a lot of money. It seems that Milan have pushed their offer to 8 million euros on wages, and his father is willing to decrease it to 12, which is not a big difference on both sides, but it's getting closer to maybe a mutual sum in which they could both agree on. What's important here is that before Milan even start negotiations with Dortmund, they need to find an agreement with the player in terms of wages, contract, and so forth, because like we all know, there's no point in finding a deal with the club if the club that's actually buying the player does not fulfill the player's request in terms of wages. So it's important to actually find this agreement between Milan and Aubameyang first of all, and then discuss with Dortmund regarding the actual transfer fee, which should be around 70 to 80 million, around that area. I'm not really sure the final price what it would be, but that's what Milan would probably negotiate for. It's really a lot of money that a lot of people, from what I read, are not really interested in spending, and I could agree with that. I think really the wages are a lot. He is a proven player, yes. He could bring guarantees to the club, yes. But if there's gonna have to be one main signing, one, exclusive signing, it could be Aubameyang this summer. But a lot of people, including myself, I think the wages are just ridiculous. Anywhere from 9 to 10 million, I think, is more than enough for him. He's currently earning 3.5 million at Dortmund, if I'm not mistaken, and even 9 to 10 would be such a massive increase for him. Just some players are so greedy, and the agents as well are so greedy, like we have seen with several cases, that they will never really be satisfied with such an increase. Like, dude, you were earning 3.5 and now you're going to be earning even 9 million, let's say. What are you complaining about? Why do you want something that's 4 times what you were earning? Like, be happy with that. But some just, cannot get satisfied. But we'll see exactly what happens with that. Like I said, it's still an option that's on the cards, and apparently Fasone and Mirabelli are really working hard to try and find a deal with the player's agent, which once again is his father. So we'll see exactly about that. Also, some flash news regarding Donnarumma. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have been keeping, a track of really what's happening with Donnarumma. No one really knows when this contract renewal extension will take place and when it's going to be finalized. But Sky is saying now that it might occur on Sunday or Monday. I just hope it does sooner rather than later, because this story has been going on for far too long right now, in my opinion, and it needs to be done. It needs to finish because no one could take it anymore. We need to make sure that Donnarumma will be staying, and that's all we need to focus on. So hopefully this signature will come in, like I said, on Sunday or Monday, and it will not be postponed even further. Let me know your thoughts on all these players, news, rumors, whatever you guys want to talk about in the comments section below. I will be reading them for the next 5 to 10 minutes and giving you guys some feedback. So let's get right into it. First of all, just saw a $5 donation from Emil Soboleski. Thank you so much, man, for always supporting the channel. It really, really means a lot, so thank you for that. Now, let's get into the comments. Okay, Mitch 2 Crip says Biglia, Kessie, and Akan is a good balanced midfield. I think so as well. Well, Akan could actually play maybe a bit more as a winger, I think, as well, and have Bonaventura as a left mid. But like I said, if we stay with a 4-3-3 at the moment, and we get Kessie on the right side, Biglia in the middle, Bonaventura on the left, and up front we have Suso, Andre Silva, and Akan Calhanoglu, that would be just amazing. That would be just, I think, a massive upgrade to what we had in the previous years. I think there's a lot of threats in that front pack, and of course we have a better defense altogether, so I don't think we should be running into too many problems next season. But what's really important at the moment is that we sign a second striker, someone that will partner Andre Silva, and what we may even use a 4-4-2 formation for all we know, but also, a very good central midfield player is important and vital as well. Someone that could replace Montolivo, because I keep seeing probable lineups regarding Milan's possible formation lineups for next season. And to be honest with you, every time I see Montolivo, something ticks into my head. Like, I don't like seeing his name there. We need a replacement for him, and I think Biglia will be a very good option, a guy that has experience in the Serie A and knows exactly what it takes to be successful. So hopefully, we do bring him in. Walls13 says, did you talk about Cuadrado? No, I did not. Yes, he's one of the players that Milan is apparently in talks with, and Deschillo for Cuadrado, I think I would take it, to be honest. I would definitely take it, actually, if that happens. So yeah, I'm pretty much welcome to a move for him to arrive to Milan. So we'll see with that. Mr. J Channel says, Gio, are there areas in Milan that still need to improve? My opinion, I think strikers need to be improved, and for some reason, I'm not that convinced with the midfield yet. Well, I just spoke about the strikers and the midfield moments ago. I still think we need someone next to Andre Silva, and the midfield definitely needs improvement. I also believe we might have to sign another center back. Yes, Musacchio is a decent center back to pair with Romagnoli, but I think we can get even someone stronger, or at least a good third option center back. Now that Paletta will probably leave to Torino, Zapata might be on his way out. We need someone else. We definitely need another center back, a solid one that could, deal with either maybe Musacchio or Romagnoli missing games. We need another certainty in the defense, I believe. Do you think the lack of Serie A experience in some of our signings will be negative? I don't believe that, because these are guys that all come from major leagues, Bundesliga, anywhere you could really name it. These guys come from all over Europe, so I don't think the lack of Serie A experience will play a big factor. Yes, they might not be very well suited for it at the beginning. They might not be used to it, but they still play in very challenging leagues nonetheless. So I don't think it will be an issue going forward. Yeah, do you think Donnarumma will sign a new contract? Yes, I've said that. Meron Samuel says, talk about the non-Italian players. There are too many. Personally, Italian or not Italian, I'm not one of those guys that criticizes because there's not too many Italians on the team. There's not enough. I think we have a pretty good share of Italians, if you ask me. We have Calabria, Abate, Di Scio, Antonelli, Donnarumma, Bonaventura, Montolivo. We have a good share of Italians on our roster. Yes, they're not new signings. Now we have Conti. They're not new signings, but we still have a lot of Italians on the roster, so I don't know what people are really complaining about. Once again, Italian, you could be French, you could be Portuguese. I don't care what you are. As long as you come in and bring the results for our club, that's all that matters at the end of the day. So I don't know why people make such dilemmas and problems or issues regarding the lack of Italians, which, by the way, there are not a lack of Italians in Milan. So I don't know what people are on about, but really, to me, it's not a problem for that. Moving on. Let me see some more comments. Yad also says there's a link that we might get Inigo Martinez for 26 million. I haven't really heard about that just yet. I don't know if it's coming from a reliable source. I've also read something, which, by the way, I didn't mention, regarding Perin. Apparently, he's been in continuous contacts with Bertolacci to bring him back to Genoa. What are your thoughts on that? Would you guys welcome a move back for Bertolacci to Genoa? That's another player that's Italian, by the way, that I didn't mention. Jamie Muscat says, I know it's early, but do you think we will get top 4? I think with the signings we made, if we don't get top 4, it will be just an embarrassment. So yes, I think we will be getting top 4. It's going to be a very challenging season, which of course is still very early in the transfer window. We are nowhere near the start of the Serie A season, but it will still be a challenging season, of course, if we actually qualify for the Europa League group stages matches. There's going to be a lot of competitions, a lot more than what we've been used to in previous years. Milan will play more frequently, so it will still be a challenging season, because let's not forget, these are new players that need to adapt to the team. It will take some time. Nothing is completed with a magic wand. It's going to take lots of time. But I'm still very, very confident with the players that came in, and I'm very happy with these arrivals for sure. Monarch says, what if we win Europa League but not top 4? not quite sure for what you mean by that, but if we do win the Europa League, you qualify for the Champions League group stages, so that's okay. Walls13 says, when's the draw for the Europa League? It's going to be on July 14, so it's next Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, next Friday is the draw for the Europa League, third qualifying round, and we'll definitely make a video, some sort of draw reaction to that once we know our opponent. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Jada says a fit Bertolacci is an absolute tank. An injury-prone Bertolacci is better to be offloaded, in my opinion. I think, you know, in these past few years, we really didn't get the guarantees from Bertolacci. I think he could be a good, decent, good player to have on the bench, but not as a starter. And I think if we could get a decent price for Bertolacci and reinvest it in a better bench option, I guess you could say, I'll be definitely happy with that. Franco says, who do you want to see leave Milan? I'm never someone that says, I want to see this guy leave, I want to see this guy leave, I want to see this guy leave. It's more like who will most likely leave at the moment. Bacca, definitely. Lapadula. I think it's all guys that you already know. Maybe Deschillo. I think these guys are definitely the top 3 at the moment to leave. Not sure when it's gonna happen or if it's gonna happen, but definitely Bacca, Lapadula, Deschillo, Paletta. These guys are all on their way out, and we're definitely gonna have to, you know, get rid of 5-6 guys. Vangioni as well. So those are at least 5 guys that I think will definitely leave this summer. We're gonna have to make space for sure. So I think at least those 5 guys will leave, and hopefully we can generate a little sum, which we could reinvest in the transfer market. Yad says, what team is Bacca and Lapadula going to? Well, Bacca, apparently I've seen that he has contacts with Marseille, so he might actually go to Marseille. And Lapadula, most likely to Genoa. It seems that Lapadula could be joining them. Luca says, hi Gio, any idea with what's happening with Belotti? Nothing at all. That's what's happening. Milan are not in negotiations with Torino regarding the player. And like I said, even a few months ago, I don't think we will be able to get him this summer. I definitely don't think so. Bashar says, do you think we need another defender for the bench? Like I said before, yes, we do need one. Savar Let's Play says, would you be happy with only Bonaventura as a winger? Would you buy another one? I would probably buy another one, but Bonaventura, I would prefer to have him in the midfield, to be honest. Just because I think he's more suited for that. And also, now that we have Çalhanoğlu, you know, the guy could play in many different positions. So, I don't really think that we need another winger, at least for the left side, in my opinion. Maybe someone else to replace Suso. Not replace him as a starter, but more as a backup option, because Suso, we have seen him last season when he was playing almost every game in the season, and then at one point he just cracked, and we need a guy to replace him, because you cannot just go on another season to play every single game in that position. We cannot have, especially now that Milan's going to be playing the Europa League too, you cannot afford that at all. Nash says, Kucka leaves AC Milan. Yes, he left. He officially joined Trabzonspor. Savara says, Montella said that he sees Çalhanoğlu as a midfielder. Yes, he could see him as a midfielder. He could see him for whatever he wants, but he could play in a lot of positions, Çalhanoğlu, and I think he's going to be used in various positions, to be honest, this season. I don't think he's going to just be used as a midfielder, and it's for that reason that I say a very versatile player like him that could play in a few positions, you know, even as a left midfielder, like we have seen several times with him, I think, maybe him and Bonaventura could switch roles at times as well, where Bonaventura could go as a winger and he stays back as a midfielder. There's endless possibilities between these two players. I'm just happy that, slowly we actually have a lot of options on the pitch rather than being limited to one player playing in a certain position and not having anyone to back him up. I think that's gonna wrap it up, guys, for today's video where I recapped the latest AC Milan news. So thank you all for joining me today. Don't forget to subscribe to Rossoneri TV to stay updated with everything going on at the club on a weekly basis, keeping you guys updated as soon as the news come out. Also, don't forget to leave a like and comment on the video if you did enjoy it. Next week, we have a few videos that will be coming out, of course. We are still waiting for the Donnarumma contract extension to be official. We will be also making an Europa League draw reaction and most likely a recap next weekend regarding like this one concerning the latest news and so forth. So don't forget to subscribe, like, share the video, and I'll be seeing you guys next week for more videos. This has been Gio signing off, and as always, Forza Milan!